Brill, I know you're wondering what the beautiful art is all about. We'll tell you all about them in just a bit. Thank you for staying with Daybreak. You can keep your tweets coming at Trevor Mbiji at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. We're talking about unrest in schools, but from a different angle. This time, we're hearing from the students themselves. Some of them who don't have the privilege to actually burn down a school because that's where they live. Let me not get into that story because they are here. They'll speak for themselves. Victoria Gishui is here, head of school, Daraja Academy. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Happy to be here.
Brilliant. Mercy Wangari is here, student, Daraja Academy, Form 3, you say?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for making time. Najma Harris is also here. She's the youngest of them all, Form 1. Thank you so much for making time as well. And Beatrice Auma, student at Daraja Academy as well, Form 3. Thank you for making time. Madam Gishui, I'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about Daraja Academy, just to set the pace of this conversation.
Yeah. Daraja is a unique school. I will start by saying that, Trevor. Daraja Academy is a school. We are in Laikipia, in Nanyuki, and it's a secondary school. People hear academy and they think, oh, it's a primary school. This is a secondary school for girls, and we opened our gates in 2009.
Okay.
So it's been there for 12 years. And amazing in that we give education to girls who cannot afford to go to school anyway.
Okay. So
our Form 1 admission looks like a girl who has stopped, preparing to go to secondary school because the family does not have the means. And 3 weeks into the admission, that is when we start our recruitment. And we get very many Kenyan girls who are at home and secondary school is not happening for them. So we admit them. They are very well performed in primary school and they have been admitted into very good secondary schools, but the means. Others are families that parents don't have a drive to take girls to school. Others actually will have an idea who is going to marry them.
At that young age.
At that age. Some, they know the house they're going to work. So the mom is working hard to find housework because they need money. They need a livelihood. And this girl is of age that she can work and bring some money home. So, but we know why education. We know why we should educate girls. And so that is the drive for Daraja. But why Daraja? It's also a bridge. It's crossing a girl from who she is at that time to what she can become. And ask me, I know what they become.
That's brilliant. Have you had some success stories from there? Things, inspiring stories that you've seen, a girl who's gone through the system and now is someone?
Very many. Very many. Our first KCSE started, I was done in 2012. So we have had 9 cohorts take KCSE and very amazing stories. Not to put on a spot, but one of your camera ladies is a graduate of Daraja. I wish Asuza was here. But I'm talking about a girl who had stopped going to school. Many other cases, I can talk about Catherine, who is from the village right behind Daraja. And literally when Daraja was starting, Loruko village, where we live, there was no education. Okay, primary school is happening, but after that, it's the normal life, marriages and very small scale farming, and that's it. But then Catherine is admitted to Daraja, and literally during school break, she will return back home and do some community service because it is an expectation at Daraja. And she will go to the local primary school and teach the girls why go to school, why work hard, why going to school is different. And it started changing their way of thinking. And Catherine, graduates. She's very good in sports. She does very well, goes to college, is a teacher. I think I produce very many teachers.
That's an amazing story. Tell me about this artwork that we see here. They're brilliant paintings, but what are they about?
Speaking as a teacher, I think we need to really admit and acknowledge the talents that we have in our students. And this amazed me because we have a benefit concert that is coming up tomorrow, so I'm really excited, and I will tell you Kenyans about it in a minute. But in preparation for the benefit concert, to you know, have the girls showcase their talents, because I mean, we want them to perform, and performance is also showing what they can do. We get the girls who are interested in art, you know, and you know, sometimes we think it's simple drawing, but what they have put together, it's amazing. You can see what we have here displayed, and this is just a sixth of what the girls have produced over time. It's big ideas, and every painting here has a story. And this is not only growing their talents, but it is helping us contribute to their education. So these pieces are on sale, and we have friendly prices. But the price is what a girl is actually bringing on the table to buy books, you know, to pay for her examination money, for her boarding. So they are working hard to contribute to their education. So we will be displaying this in our benefit concert tomorrow. And we will be at Sabis International School in Runda. Happy to be hosted by our friend school. I encourage people to buy tickets. It's on darajabenefitconcert.com. And buy your tickets. We're excited. So the idea here is to support the girls who are needy, but not just support them. You buy their artwork so that the money goes to their schooling. That's what you're saying, essentially. This is one way. This is one way of a girl raising her own money for school. As you grow a talent, it is a way of supporting the school. So you can support Daraja directly. You can buy an artwork. You can bring supplies, you know, directly. We've had people who bring their soaps and tissue and beans and maize, you know, because that is what they have. And we are this community school that is very open to whatever people can bring on the table to feed these girls. How many students do you have? It's a population of 120. So every stream has 30 girls. We take a number that we can provide, because we want an education that is very different. It's not just getting her to do biology and mathematics. It's to make her a community leader. It's to make Mercy an agent of change when she goes back to Namanga. She is from a place where education is not the thing, you know. They're just learning that they should go to school. But through Mercy, then there is that effect. Yes. So how much does it take to run the school for like maybe a month, if somebody is thinking of helping? To provide this girl with everything she needs, because she's walking into the school with empty hands. She needs to be fed, she needs to get to school, she needs to have, you know, a boarding facility. Per term is 84,000. For one? For one girl. 84,000 is what this girl requires. And so you can break that, you know, into the number a month there is about 30,000, and you make a girl be in class, but the impact in that girl is bigger. All right. Brilliant. Let me bring in Mercy Wangari on this. Mercy, you know, before I took the break, we were talking about unrest in schools. From your side, it seems to me that that luxury doesn't seem to exist. But what do you think is the problem with the fellow students in other schools?
I think the major problem in other schools, I think it's the aspect of miscommunication, because so many students out there feel they have a lot of grievances that are not attended to. So the best way to channel their aggression is through violence. But if you look at things in another view, it's not good to do that, because after all, it's you're destroying what you've invested. For example, your parents are the ones paying for your school fees. You're the ones who built that school. So if you ban a school, then you go home, you're starting your parent from zero. So literally you're destroying your own investment, because I believe your parents' investment is your own investment. And then also when we destroy schools, I always try to ask myself, if the people before me, the generations before me, if they burnt the schools, would I have found that school there? So when we ban schools, are we leaving a space for or schools for the coming generations? So I think we need to provide a platform for students to think critically. I think the Constitution of Kenya guarantees for peaceful demonstration. So I think if things are not that good, I think they should do a peaceful demonstration rather than banning the school.
I am fascinated that you're referring to the Constitution at your age. But tell me a little bit about yourself. What is your background like?
I come from a humble background in Namanga, Kajiado County. I'm the firstborn, and I attended primary school, although with so many complications. Today I'm in school, tomorrow I'm not, but I worked hard. I believe it was my hard work. Yeah. I worked hard, finished my KCP in the year 2018, and I emerged the top of my class with 350 marks.
Wow,
yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you. And I didn't go to school. I used to lock myself inside because you go to the shop and you know people from around your village are like, why are you not in school? And things like that. And then you don't have responses to give to them. Yeah. So I used to stay in the house. I would cry each and every day. Then one day an idea came to me. I went back to the primary school I was studying. And I told the manager, you know what? I did my KCP well. It was my best. So I want to go to school. And she told me, you've tried every scholarship. I tried M-Pesa, I tried Equity. No, like there was no hope for me. I had despaired completely. And then I went back home, but on a particular day she called me and she told me, there's this school that I saw on social media advertising for applicants who want to join Form 1. So I said, maybe this is my luck. Yeah. So I tried, I applied, and then when all hope was gone, just when I was sitting around the house, I had my grandma was called, and she was told there's an interview in Nairobi. So I tried, I was praying hard, but something at the back of my mind was telling me this was it. Yeah. So I got to the interview, and that was the best miracle of my life. Like I've never had a miracle in my life, because it was you were supposed to be told like a week later if you get in or out, if you like qualified. Yeah. But miraculously, the same very day of my interview, I was held for a second interview and I was told that you're in.
Oh, just like that?
Yeah, just like that.
All right, that's a fascinating story. Yeah, Najma, let me bring you in on this, and you're the youngest in this crew of ours. What do you think is the issue? What causes the school's unrest?
According to my understanding, it can be peer pressure, because seeing that other schools are also banning, the students start feeling like also their issues, maybe they have minor grievances not being attended to. They feel like banning schools is a good option for them, but the thing is they should step back and consider the feelings of other students. Maybe you are in a school with a population of over 1,000 and you are that only one person who has a problem, the others don't even know. And then there's a student maybe in Form 4 who's waiting for her KCSE. She's working so hard. Maybe she doesn't come from a very good background. The school is a very conducive environment for her to study, him or her. And so when you ban that school, you are leaving that girl without a place to study, go back home, and then go through that consequence of rebuilding that school, because the government has said the parents are rebuilding the schools. Maybe the parents are not even able to get a meal together on a table, and the school also provides you with food. Boarding schools provide you with food. You have 3 meals a day. The environment is so good, but because of the minor grievances you have, that can be addressed through open communication with the teachers. And because you feel that there is influence, the peer pressure now, because other schools are also banning, you also want to take part in that, being the trend. So I feel that's one of the ways. Okay.
Najma, you can also tell me your background. You're not compelled to do this. You're just telling me this. Unanipigia to story. I mean, so you feel free to share with me your background. Where are you from? How did you find yourself at Daraja?
I come from Garissa County. So after I did my KCP, I got some marks of 399.
399?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did this
well
year.
Done.
Thank you.
Very well done.
I did this year, 2021. So there's a lot of, we stayed at home for whole 9 months. 6 months for us because we were in class 8 that time, so we had to come back to school early. But that was a very long vacation from school. So when we went back, there's that pressure of covering syllabus and all those things. But I still managed to put my best.
Yeah.
That was my best. And so when I went home, there's this holiday of like 2 months there, 3 months because of the KCSE. I stayed home after the results were announced. I went looked for scholarships, but then at the end I tried like Equity, KCB, and those ones, they didn't work out for me. So at the end, the schools were opening like next week, or then I was there waiting for response with no hope. So after a while, I started falling into despair because I felt like nothing is working out for me. And that I felt getting good marks is not even helping me in any way. So after a while, my brother found the applications online, they were advertising. So I just tried because I thought it was a process. Like I didn't even have the hope of joining because so many failed. I thought it was just a process. So after I tried, then I got a call, and then for the interview, mine was done online. I didn't go to a town because it was close to the time we were being admitted. So I did online, I did my best. So I was told 2 days later that, oh, Najma, do you believe in miracles? And then I was like, yeah, sometimes they happen.
Reluctant, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they happen and other times they don't. So I half-heartedly.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, it was this teacher, Victoria, she was like, oh, a miracle has happened, you are coming to Daraja. And I paused for 60 seconds straight, and I was thinking, is this true or not?
You thought you're being conned.
Yeah, I first looked at the person who was calling me, and then I was like, are you Miss Victoria?
Okay.
So it's kind of funny because you have been looking for so many opportunities and now you abruptly get one. It sort of fuels your emotions. So when we are being admitted like later, because out of 182 students, that's a fun fact, we are only 36 in our class and 182 are interviewed. So a girl like me who's also deserving could not come because the school could not have the facilities for her. Okay. But I'm grateful that I'm there and the school is very good.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Beatrice, what do you think is the issue from your perspective? We've had communication, peer pressure from Najma. What do you think is the problem in schools today?
I think the major issue is that most of the students are indisciplined. And this can be as a result of peer pressure that they are seeing from other schools, that they are banning school. They are like comparing them with other schools. So they are saying, if this school can ban, what about our school? We too, we do the same. And also another thing is that students are feeling that the holiday, the break are too short, not knowing in mind that we had a 9 months holiday when Corona came. And we spent most of our time at home, and that we can only cover the syllabus when the government compressed the holiday so that it should be so short and we cover the remaining syllabus.
Okay. Where do you come from, Beatrice? What is your background like?
I'm from Siaya County. I'm in a family of 7 girls. You don't have a boy.
Okay.
So I did my KCP 2018 and I got 309.
Oh, wow. Nice. Very well done.
I knew Daraja through Usalama organization. And in Usalama, there is one of my friends called Celestine. She's the one who connected me with Miss Victoria. And at that time, she helped me to do the application to Daraja, and I did it with all my passion. And I was called for an interview in Nairobi, and then I did the interview, and then I was like praying to God, God, just help me to find the scholarship so that I can continue with my education and be a doctor that I want to be.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I want to be a doctor because climate is changing and we need more doctors in Kenya. So as climate changes, it means that we will have more diseases coming. So we should have more doctors in Kenya so that they can rescue the lives of people.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Now that you brought it up, Najma, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Computer scientist.
Why? Why comp science?
I've always been fascinated. I didn't tell you that one of my hobbies is researching. I like to research a lot and reading novels. So I always find that it pops up everywhere. And so I developed an interest, like, how do these people know how to do this? Where do you get just this thing that you used to call somebody who's thousands of miles away from you? And it's always like, how does it happen, that curiosity? So now that I am in high school, we do computer classes. I'm always very active in that.
Yeah, and also noticed your interview was online.
Yeah.
So this is your channel. The fate is aligned, your stars are aligned.
Yeah.
And Mercy?
Actually, I want to juggle 2 careers. I want to do medicine, but I want to specialize with oncology. Okay. I want to help cancer patients out there because I'm so passionate about helping cancer patients, considering the fact that oncologists in Kenya are minimum. We can actually count, and I also want to become that upcoming oncologist, sorry. And I also want to do media because I've always been passionate about media. I love writing, and yeah, that's what I want to do.
All right. Have you ever tried it before? But no. So what we will do right after this show, we will get you an intro right on front of the camera, a story. So you'll read it in real time, see how that works, all right? Brilliant. Madam Victoria, you know, I find the girls pretty amazing. This is a fascinating story, but you as the school lead or the head of school, how do you deal with those issues that they've talked about? They've talked about 3 different things. Let's start with peer pressure, because at their age that is a common factor. How do you deal with it?
So we designed Daraja with the girl in mind, because we understand where they're coming from. And for us, it's easy to predict because I know all of them need a mom at school. So before I call myself a principal or a head of school, I tell them, Mom is here, let's talk. And so there's that connection, and in itself, it brings a student down from teacher-student to an engagement that is more connected. At Daraja, we have an empowerment program, and we call it WISH. WISH stands for Women of Integrity, Strength and Hope. And we designed it, you know, even before the ministry introduced life skills. This is an amazing life skill. WISH teaches a girl from who she is, overcome traumas that they bring with them to school, build a voice, you know. They are very good, and they just, you know, Najma is just learning WISH, but she's learning, you know, how to get a voice and bring it out, put your opinion out. And by the time they're in Form 3, it's about leadership. It's knowing that I'm a leader, and no matter if I have a title or not, I am a leader. And so living a very responsible life is paramount. By the time they're in Form 4, it's human rights. It's learning how to be agents of change. So we find that we counter issues to do with peer pressure because in Form 2, we have an amazing unit called Future Highway. So you're getting a girl design her future, thinking about her identity now, stereotypes around her, you know, what community says about a girl. But you're helping her design a future. So in a way, you're helping the mind get more focused. And in itself, you know, they're able to manage pressures. Not to say they don't have peer pressure. It's there. But again, the girls are very firm and they hold each other accountable. One of the things we do very well, and I love Daraja for not having rules. It's a school without rules. It's a school with pillars. You know, this bridge is supported with pillars. And we have 4 pillars, which I know they can speak better about it, but the pillars are our way of life. And they're not for students. They are for every person. So Daraja in itself has been designed as an institution with a family approach. That a staff, you know, be it a teaching or a non-teaching member of staff, is that you're held accountable in your role. you just need to do it diligently without neglecting your role or abusing it.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're handling a student, is that you treat her with dignity and respect.
Yeah.
And that is where I find, as an educator or a teacher or a leader in an academic institution, sometimes we go wrong when, as a teacher, you feel like you know it all, and we sometimes fail to realize how much students know.
Yeah.
And that in itself is a conflict, because a student has good opinions and they have amazing ideas.
Yeah.
But when a teacher, you know, I know it all, I have the content, in itself can bring a lot of conflict.
Yeah.
So,
and therein lies the challenge, because there are some people were saying that we should just bring back corporal punishment to deal with indiscipline, because for them there's no negotiating with students, and I'm sure even during your time that was there. But is that a way we should go?
Corporal punishment, and you know, we have an experience. Yeah, we have an experience with the young ones. Sometimes, you know, you pinch a child, but they don't know why you're pinching.
Yeah.
And so for me, corporal punishment is not just the way. It's not the way. I feel that we need to talk about what action, what impact. You know, what is this action leading? What is it causing? And when you address that, then you're able to reason out, and it will bring more learning. And so one will do what is right for the right reason. Yeah. And you're not doing right to avoid trouble. You know, when we were growing up, we knew to avoid trouble, and you know, your mom or your dad could get on you any minute. And so you would really avoid, and that could hold us from doing things, you know. So I feel that we need to wake up to dialogues, open ourselves to dialogue. Let's talk openly. And that does not reduce us from the amazing parent we should be. It does not mean the students or our daughters and sons in the family are taking the show. We will still sit in the position, but dialogue, because if you engage them, then you first, you know, seek to understand, and then you agree on what it is. So even in schools, communication is there, but what channels? I feel that we should be asking ourselves, what channels of communication do we have in schools? Let students talk. Let student council work. Student council is a unit that is there for a reason. Let it work.
All right.
Yes.
Brilliant. We'll come into details of that also, and a bit of a concern about parental guidance. But let's bring up some of your feedback really quick before I take a quick break here on Daybreak. Let's bring them up, see what you're saying. Emily Mutwiri says, I've interacted with parents whose kids are suspects of unrest in schools, and they're really defending their children. My son can't do that. He's an altar boy. They break once they see CCTV footage of what their sons did. Parents are failing. Okay? Talk about parental guidance in a bit. Dennis Charlo says these girls are intelligent and can think critically. They seem very much aware of the environment and the challenges facing their fellow teenagers. Brilliant. Let's see what else is there. Frank Orinde says the Raja Girls students in studio are showing some elements of confidence. They are knowledgeable. The school is doing a good job. Brill. Let's see. Alua Willis says today's show is so inspirational and encouraging. The girls are so eloquent and knowledgeable about issues bedeviling our schools. I hope the education stakeholders are listening from the horse's mouths. Students. Brill. Keep your views coming at Trevor Mbiji at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the parental guidance aspect of it, and also talk about the privilege and aspirations of the students. All right? See you in just a bit.